Hey everybody, how are you doing? It is the 22nd of December, which of course means it is the 22nd day of our Advent calendar promotion. Hope you are well. It is midday here in the UK, which means that it's something like 7 in the morning on Eastern Time in the USA. If you're with us, good to see you. Who's with us? Indiana, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. So got something really special for you today with Christmas right on the edge now. It's just there, almost touching distance. We got something really special for you. I'm going to be giving you a completely exclusive and private recipe. I have never shared this outside of my family, but it is an absolute cracker. And I thought it'd be a great one for you guys. Who else have we got here? Richard Patworth, how are you doing? Good to see you. Barry, good to see you too. And Anna, good morning. Good morning to you. So look, this is what I have for you. It's something that is going to be great for Christmas morning, or for that matter, particularly good for Boxing Day morning if you've had a heavy night on Christmas Day itself. Barry, brain died yesterday. Well, hopefully I've got something that's going to bring it to life for you today. So this is what I got for you. And it might not sound like a whiskey cocktail, but it very much is about the whiskey that's in it. And I call it my ultimate Islay Bloody Mary. It's the ultimate Islay Bloody Mary, and it is a spectacular Bloody Mary. Hopefully you like Bloody Marys. You are going to love this one, especially as whiskey lovers. Ian, good morning. Good to see you there. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take you through my recipe for this drink. If you look up Bloody Marys and you look it up on Google, you will find hundreds, if not thousands of variations. Really amazing drinks. This one is mine. And the interesting thing about this drink, and one of the things that I love, there was a very famous sort of food and drink writer at the end of the last century. Sorry, not the last century, but the one before, called David Embury. And he once referred to the Bloody Mary as the poison and the antidote in the same drink. The poison obviously being the alcohol, the antidote being the tomato and all those wonderful spices. So this is our poison and antidote recipe for you. Who else is with us before I start? Menno, glad to be able to catch you later. Great to see you, great to see you. And Bruce, what whiskey does Santa Claus drink? A Polish one, of course. Fantastic. I love that. That's going to go into my book of cheesy jokes. But thank you for that, Bruce, and good to see you here this morning. All right, let's start. So first things first, I'm going to take my mixing glass and I'm going to add, first of all, vodka. Because it is a Bloody Mary, it's going to have vodka in it. And I'm just using some Smirnoff. Smirnoff actually is a really decent quality vodka. A lot of people think that it's not because it's inexpensive and therefore they think inexpensive means cheap. But actually it's really well made and it's a good vodka. And I'm going to put 50 ml of our vodka in there. Obviously you can use whatever you want. Actually, sometimes it's pretty good to use a citrus vodka as well. I'm just using a regular neutral vodka here, but citrus vodka goes well with this drink as well. Okay, so I've got my vodka in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the spices as I use them. Remember that everyone has a sort of different taste for this, but this is my recommendation for you. You can always tweak it if you want. Anyone else with us? Alan, good morning. How you doing? Kevin, good to see you. Tim as well, hi. And Hannah, morning to you as well. So let's start with a little bit of spice and a little bit of heat. So Tabasco, the Tabasco hot pepper sauce is the one that often goes into a Bloody Mary. But I'm using this. This is almost empty. You can see I use it a lot. This is a bottle of Sriracha chili sauce, and that's what I'm going to use. It's nice and hot. It's got a good sort of fruity flavor to it. And I want a reasonable amount of heat with this. I don't want it to be too hot so that it dominates the drink, but I want to feel the heat. So let me just shake that down there a little bit, and I'm going to put in what is equivalent to, if you were doing this with Tabasco, I suppose that would be about 5 dashes, something like that. Okay, next thing that I'm going to add is the Worcester sauce, or Worcestershire, sorry, let me just put my teeth back in, Worcestershire sauce, or Worcester sauce. Now this one here is a gluten-free one actually, and this is the one that I'm using, but you can obviously use whatever brand of Worcester sauce you want. And again, this is sort of critical, I think, to the flavor of a Bloody Mary, but it's often dominating the flavor. Again, people get a little bit over happy with it. They put too much in and then all you can taste is the Worcester. So we're going to be gentle with this. And I'm going to add 1, 2, 3. That was sort of 3 large drops of that. That will be enough to get that sort of fruity flavor through without it just being a Worcester cocktail. Next thing that I'm going to add, and I'm really keen on this in my Bloody Marys, is some celery salt. Now everyone understands that we often garnish a Bloody Mary with celery, but the celery salt in there adds a little bit of saltiness, obviously, but really brings out that celery flavor. So I'm taking a large pinch of this celery salt and I'm just sprinkling that in like so. There we go. Oh, by the way, I know Bruce is watching, and Bruce says, can you hold it up to, yeah, there we go, so you can see. Celery salt. This is by Schwartz. Whatever brand you use, it's fine, but Schwartz, actually, if you can get hold of Schwartz, it's a really high quality one. Lots and lots of flavor. Now, the next thing I'm going to put in here is some mustard. I like mustard because mustard gives it a lot of flavor along with some additional spiciness. We've already got the chili in there. And I'm going to put a little bit of this. Now, this is a Dijon mustard. Again, you can see that I've used quite a bit of this already, but this is a Dijon mustard. So unlike English mustard, which tends to be very particular in its flavor and actually quite hot, this is sort of hot and heated, but not overbearing. And actually, I prefer the flavor of this. Now, it's just a small amount that I'm putting in. Can you see on the end of my spoon? Just a small amount. I'm just going to drop that in there, shake it around. That's good. Now I need some citrus. And the citrus can come from lime or it can come from lemon. For me, it's got to come from lemon. And I really like a lot of citrus in my Bloody Marys. So I'm going to cut, I've got lemon here. There we go. I'm going to just cut this in half. And I'm actually going to take the juice of most of that half of the lemon. So let's see what we're doing here. Let's give it a squeeze. That's good. Actually, this is a really juicy lemon. So I'm just going to hold back from using all the juice. I reckon in the end, that's around about sort of 10 to 15 mils, something like that. So let me just put that to the side. Let's see who else is with us. Who have we got? Fabian. Is it Fabian or Fabian? Hi, from Belgium. Good to see you. And 2 thumbs up from Bruce. I guess that's for showing you the bottle. All right, so what's missing here? Something obvious? Of course, the tomato juice. So I've got some freshly pressed tomato juice here. It is true that the quality of juice that you use has an effect on the drink. So, you know, if you're going to go out and buy a litre of it for about 50 pence or 75 cents or whatever, then you're probably going to have a lot of water in there and not so much tomato. So it's worth just shelling out a little bit more for a decent quality tomato juice. So I'm going to add, here we go. This is 50. And then we're going to give a little bit more, 100, and then a touch more, so I'm up to about 120 ml of tomato juice. All right, let's put that to the side. Now, what's missing? What is missing that is critical for us as Dream Whiskies fans, Dream Whiskies players? Well, what's missing here at this stage, of course, is the whiskey. And what I add to make this my ultimate Islay Bloody Mary is a really decent Islay whiskey, something with quite a bit of smoke to it. I've used this before in other recipes that I've shown you. This is the Lefroy Quarter Cask, which is quite fruity as well as peaty and smoky. And I just want a little bit in this because I want that smoky character to come through. It just blends so beautifully with the tomato juice. And people wouldn't ordinarily assume that that's going to be the case. So I'm just going to add, and I'm doing it by eye this time, but I'm going to add about 10 ml of that. Tiny bit more. There we go. 10 ml. And that 10 ml will be enough to bring that Islay character right the way through our Bloody Mary. Now, I'm going to mix this now, but there's a couple of ways that I'm going to do it. Because of the mustard that's in there, I'm going to give it a quick, very quick shake, and then I'm going to stir it. Now, most Bloody Mary drinkers stir their cocktails, and I get that, but we need to just break this down a bit. So I'm going to, first of all, add some ice to this. I'm going to put my shaker can on the top. And when I say a quick shake, I mean really quick, like back and forth just twice. Here we go. That's it. That will be enough for me to break that up because I don't want to over dilute this drink. Now what I want to do is I want to stir it. So I'm going to bring into the equation a mixing glass. This is a very old mixing glass from about the 1930s. I thought I would share this with you. Got some cool little recipes on the side if you're not quite sure how to make the drinks. And I'm going to transfer all of this now into my mixing glass, and then I'm going to take my spoon and give it a good stir. Now, by stirring, it means that I can make sure everything is nicely blended. And we've got the flavors blending down, and we've got things like the mustard breaking down really nice. But because I'm not over shaking it at all, it means I'm not watering the drink down. There we go. We're good now. Now, just let me put that to the side for a second. Anybody else with us? No one talking to us this morning? Oh, here we are. Richard, how are you doing? Looks like the elf on the shelf has been on the whiskey. Where is he today? Yes, he's hanging on to a bottle of Blue Curacao at the moment. Stuart, what's being made here? So if you haven't picked this up, Stuart, this is it's my ultimate Islay Bloody Mary. In fact, Menno's already answered your question. Stuart's going, yes, like that. Good. Paul. Paul, how you doing? A bit late, but glad you're here. Good to see you. And Stuart, make it 20 mil. You mean the Laphroaig? Absolutely, go for it. If you want to do that and tweak it that way, make it 20 mil. I'm absolutely up for that. Good morning, Tim. Lorraine, good to see you. Right, so we've got everything combined together here. Now I'm going to take my glass. Now I need ice in the glass, so I'm going to fill this up with ice. So I'm just filling some ice from my ice chest here. And the ice is going to keep this cold. Naturally, the more ice you have in this, then the more it will hold the ice and it will stop the ice from melting and diluting. There we go. So take my strainer now, and I'm going to strain this over the ice, bringing it up over the top like so, and we are almost done. So, time for the garnish. What are we going to do with the garnish? Well, celery is a typical garnish for a Bloody Mary, and I like using celery, but what I don't like using are the big, thick sticks on the outside of a bunch of celery, because they look a little bit cumbersome. So I like to go into the middle of the celery and take out these bits here, the ones with the leaves still attached, and they're younger and they're sweeter as well, and they look more impressive sitting in the top of your glass. So I'm just going to tuck that bit of celery in there. Now that I've got the celery in there, I'm going to add a tiny bit more ice because I want to bring the level of the drink up. Let's give it a little stir. Now I still haven't finished because I think we need a bit of citrus on there as well. We've got lemon in. So if you were using lime as your citrus juice, then I would say to you, fine, okay, put a bit of lime in here. But because I've used lemon, I'm going to put some lemon on the side, like so. I'm just going to tuck it into the top like that. Then I'm going to take a little bit of paprika. So paprika is sort of quite sweet in terms of its aroma. It has a heat to it, and also can be slightly smoky as well, which will go with the Laphroaig that we put in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that paprika, I'm going to sprinkle some on the lemon, obviously some over the surface of the drink, and a few little bits on the leaves as well, just to add a little bit of colour. And of course, aroma when you come to drink it. Now, I haven't quite finished, because I'm going to finish off in a second with another little bit of garnish, which I think you're going to laugh. So who else is with us? Gary, how you doing? Hi. Fabian saying, got everything but the Laphroaig. Our Big Ten, yeah, absolutely. You can go, a Lagavulin would be perfect as well. Yeah, a Lagavulin 16 would be amazing, to be honest. And Richard, is there something you can make that does not like whiskey but would like to love it? You're meaning for somebody who doesn't like whiskey. Is that what you mean, Richard? Well, there are a lot of drinks, actually. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to hold on to that question, and I'll explain why in a second. But let me see if anybody else is here. Okay, good. So I'm going to finish this off with this. I've got a couple of pieces. By the way, if you're vegetarian, you're not going to want to do this. But if you are not, this really adds something to it. I've got a couple of pieces of crispy, streaky bacon. And I'm actually going to just pop those into the top of the drink like that. I'm going to take a straw. I'm going to pop straw down the side, and there, our ultimate Islay Bloody Mary is done. How about that? Who fancies that drink? Now, like I say, if you're going to try it, give it a go. Let us know how you get on. I know quite a few of you have been trying our cocktails, and you've been sending me messages, which is fantastic. So, and send us pictures as well. We'd like to see the pictures. I'm going to start posting them on our site as well. But give it a try. If you're a Bloody Mary drinker, if you've never tried this sort of combination, absolutely give it a try. It is a spectacular recipe. Now, in a second, I'm going to tell you about tomorrow. Who we got here? Richard, yes. Okay, I will do that, Richard. Bruce, vodka as in vodka. Maybe you missed it. The vodka is in there, but nevertheless. And Stuart says, I missed the start. Will you summarize the ingredients? Okay, so Stuart, I will summarize the ingredients. But just so that you know, you can always go back to the beginning of this and replay it. But essentially what we've got here is we've got vodka, we have the tomato juice. I've used some Dijon mustard. I've used some celery salt. I've got lemon juice in there. I've got some sriracha chili sauce, and I've got some Worcester sauce as well. And then I've garnished it as you've seen there. All right, everybody, look, let me tell you about tomorrow. So the first thing I got to tell you is a bit of sad news, and that is tomorrow is the last of our Advent calendar broadcast. It is the last one. We're not doing the 24th, and the reason is that I'm just traveling, and I'm not going to be able to do that broadcast. So tomorrow is going to be our last one. Now, what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to have a Shoot the Breeze session like we did last weekend, which was a lot of fun, and people seem to really enjoy it. So I'm going to sit here with some whiskey. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to have a drink with you. So get a glass of whiskey or something and join me, and we can have a drink together and share notes and experiences. I've also been asking people if they want to ask me some questions, for example, like the one that Richard's just asked me. I'll try and answer those questions tomorrow as well. So we're going to share stuff about whiskey, stuff about Dream Whiskies, what's coming up in the new year as well, plus all sorts of cool stuff. I will answer your questions. And the time of tomorrow's broadcast is, let me just check this here, 7 p.m. That is 7 in the evening UK time. That is 2 p.m. Eastern time in the United States. So make sure you are with us then, because it's going to be the best of our broadcast to date. It's going to be the last one before Christmas, and it'd be great to share that with you all. Before we go, Barry's saying, love tomatoes but hate tomato juice. Well, actually, if you don't like tomato juice, another thing that you can do is actually take tomatoes, give them a little grill, so cook them a little bit under a grill, let them cool, and then blend those up. If you blend those up, you create an absolutely gorgeous tomato base for a Bloody Mary. So give that one a go. And Stuart, thank you, and thank you back at you as well. So there it is. Give that a go. Have a fantastic Saturday, and don't miss tomorrow night's final broadcast, 7 p.m. here, UK time. Until then, have a great day. Bye.